Okay, this is a video that I'm going to do for Chris on Twitter. This is really interesting, and I really like it. I'm glad he found this one and picked it out for me to do, because this is basically some of the principles that I was working on the other day for PayPal. So, and just from a chart standpoint, and let me show you why. First, the stock is relatively new and it doesn't have a lot of history. And that is really important, and that's the same philosophy that I used on PayPal, and I think I mentioned another one there. You have to go back and watch the video, but it shows that when the stock is relatively new, there's no history to go on. And so with no history, you don't have a lot of confidence in buyers. And also there's nothing much for algorithms to go off of, because there's no old areas that they can target. There's really nothing to go off of. So what you see here is just an area of overhead resistance and some support areas. Now back here the stock was new, came down. There must have been just some buyers or something just testing some area and ran it up. But as you can see, this area of about $36 was the area that kind of played out for a little while, for almost a year. Okay? And then when that area collapsed, the only thing they had to go to was this original area here. Well, this didn't have enough history to it. So you could almost see that this wasn't going to hold up, and sure enough it didn't. Actually what happened here is they used it, as soon as it shot down through it, this became the overhead resistance. They shot down to it and they run it up just to test it, to see if it could get some momentum and get back up there, and it didn't. And I didn't expect it would either. So now it's just totally tanked. Now what's happening here is there was a lot of areas for a good short, and I want to say that this is where you really wanted to start looking at it or getting in, and of course using it as a stop area as well. So if you had got in here, great, you could have took some off after a run to the downside a bit, or you could have kept your short position and then just had this area as a stop, you know, along this area. But it didn't hold, and it ran down just as I expected it would. Now you're not going to see anything except maybe some bounces if you're lucky, until it actually establishes a pattern. And you don't want to trade this until it establishes a pattern, because right now all you're doing is just trying to catch this, and you don't want to be the first one in. There's no point to it. There's no good solid trade. What we're looking for is something that's going to be a reward and not a gamble. And so you have to wait for this to develop. And this is the same thing, like I said, back on PayPal. Go look at that video of where PayPal is headed right now as it's breaking support. So this is very interesting. We will look at this over time. I will post more videos on it. But as of right now, you can watch it, but you can't get bullish on it. And you don't want to be bearish on it as well either, because you'd missed your entry. It gave you the entry twice, once here and once here. And you could see from over here, it was clearly defined. Now you don't know if this is the bottom. And for that reason, you can't get into this play. You can't pick it to go short, and you can't pick it to go long. So this is just on a watch list to watch and see what happens. Your RSI, by the way, is at 29. It really stinks, and it doesn't look like it's turned around anytime soon. This is just developing, and you can see here that if I just put a line midway through, this was really heavy selling in the beginning, but if I put a line through the other two negative waves on the MACD histogram, you can see that over here we may not have even finished this whole deal yet. We don't know. This could easily get cut in half to 6 or 7. Who knows? Nobody knows for sure. So just stay away from it and just watch it, and we'll keep updating some videos, and I'll put it on a watch list, and we'll see where we go from there. Now, before I get off this video, let's just go on to a daily quick, because I know everybody says, well, that's a weekly chart, but the most information is the best. Then you can zoom in on your time frames, and as of right now, you can definitely see even better than before. It had broke down, and that was a nice run. Could have took some profit there. You could have got, look at how many times it gave you an opportunity to be short in through here. You know, three full times before it really just went to the downside. And that was a really good opportunity for a short at 30. That's a 50%. That's huge. That's a huge run to the downside. I'm sorry I missed that one. I didn't have this on my list, but thanks to Chris, I'm going to put this on my list now, and we'll watch it as it develops. This very well may be something in the future that can go. You know, I remember many, many years ago when Facebook was doing their trading, and it was around 19 or so, and I realized that Twitter will never be a Facebook, but they might have some value in the future. So this would be something good to watch if it turns around. But right now, you got to steer clear of it. Okay? Thanks.